The information you are about to hear has the potential to completely revolutionize the trajectory of Formula One in the years to come. Lewis Hamilton, the driver who has won 7 world championships, may be experiencing his final campaign in the sport. And the person responsible for this shocking prediction is not just anyone. It is Günther Steiner, former director of Haas, and one of the most recognized personalities in the paddock. However, remain calm, as the situation is considerably more complex than it appears, and the behind-the-scenes details will surprise you deeply. Let's start with the current situation, which honestly couldn't be more discouraging for Hamilton. We are in the middle of the 2025 season, and the British driver has yet to secure a single podium finish wearing the red colors of Ferrari. Meanwhile, his teammate Charles Leclerc has already accumulated a 42-point lead over him in the overall standings. 42 points. For a competitor of Hamilton's caliber, this transcends a mere statistic, constituting a public humiliation that resonates through the corridors of Maranello. However, the decisive moment really came during the Hungarian Grand Prix, just before the summer break. While Leclerc secured Ferrari's first pole position of the season, Hamilton remained stuck in 12th place on the starting grid. It was at that moment that the situation became truly serious. The 7-time champion did not mince his words. He described himself as useless, and even suggested that Ferrari should replace him. Imagine the impact of that statement reverberating through the factory in Maranello, through the team's offices, through the ears of Frédéric Vasseur. A legendary driver asking to be replaced? This transcends self-criticism, bordering on a live resignation, and the situation didn't end there. After the race, when journalists tried to bring up the subject again, Hamilton was categorical. "I have no further comment." When asked if his presence at the Dutch Grand Prix, the first race after the break, was assured, his response was even more unsettling. "I hope to return. I hope I will return, yes." I hope? A 7-time world champion using "I hope" when referring to his own future? It sounds more like a farewell than a renewed commitment. It is precisely at this point that Günther Steiner offers his precise analysis of the situation. For the experienced former Haas director, Hamilton simply did not meet expectations at Ferrari. But the issue goes far beyond results on the track. Steiner believes that Hamilton has lost something essential: self-confidence. And without self-confidence, not even 7 world titles can save a driver. Remember, when Hamilton's move to Ferrari was announced, the whole world paused to watch. It was like a motorsport fairy tale. The greatest winner in history transferring to the most iconic team in the sport. But when reality does not match expectations, the structure can quickly crumble. This raises an essential question that is causing disagreement in the paddock. To what extent does Hamilton's age, who turned 40 before the start of the season, affect his current performance? Steiner acknowledges that age always plays a role, but also points out that Hamilton is in excellent physical condition and could easily compete at a high level for a few more years. The problem, according to him, is not physical, it is psychological. It is the loss of pleasure, the constant feeling of battle without reward, the frustration of not being able to get the most out of a car that should be an extension of his abilities. And this is where the situation takes an even more dramatic turn. Hamilton no longer needs Formula One as a platform. He is already a global brand, with investments in various sectors, from vegan cuisine to fashion and entertainment. Although his vegan burger chain recently filed for bankruptcy, Hamilton remains active in other areas, including co-ownership of the non-alcoholic beverage company Almave. This means that, unlike many drivers who depend on the category to maintain relevance and income, Hamilton has the financial freedom to simply say enough. But wait, there are more layers to the story. Steiner believes that the summer break will be a crucial moment of reflection for Hamilton. It is possible that he will return calmer, renewed, ready to demonstrate why he has won 7 world titles. but it could also be the period in which he comes to the conclusion that it is no longer worth subjecting himself to this constant pressure and frustration. And if this second alternative materializes, Steiner does not hesitate to predict Hamilton could announce his retirement at the end of 2025. Now comes a part that will generate controversy. Steiner does not accept excuses for Hamilton's poor performance. When asked how much the car influences the Britain's difficulties, the German was categorical. Certainly the car always plays a role, but we are in Formula One, and an elite driver needs to know how to deal with what is provided to him. If the car is difficult to drive in certain areas, it is up to the driver to adapt, not the other way around. For Steiner, the Ferrari car is competent, and seeking excuses for Hamilton would be inappropriate. This statement raises a fundamental question about the nature of contemporary Formula One. Are we being overly lenient with experienced drivers who are unable to adapt to specific cars? Or is Steiner being too harsh on a seven-time champion who may be going through a natural transition period? The reality is that Hamilton has a multi-year contract with Ferrari, which is believed to extend until the end of 2026. But contracts are just documents when a driver decides it's time to hang up his helmet. Interestingly, Hamilton has been preparing intensively for 2026, submitting several technical documents to Ferrari with a view to building a more promising future. He has already refuted rumors that these documents are design instructions to shift his team's focus away from Leclerc. But the mere fact that these rumors exist demonstrates how tense and speculative the internal situation at Ferrari is. What makes this situation even more fascinating is the timing. Formula One is going through one of the most competitive phases in its history. We have Max Verstappen dominating for Red Bull, McLaren resurging with full force, Mercedes reinventing itself, and Ferrari itself seeking its way back to the top. For Hamilton, who has already proven everything he has to prove, the question is no longer whether he can win, but whether he still wants to go through the sacrifices necessary to do so. The summer break, therefore, becomes much more than a period of rest. It is a watershed moment in the career of one of the greatest drivers of all time. Will Hamilton return reinvigorated and determined to show that he still has fire in his heart? Or will he conclude that 7 world titles and 103 victories are enough of a legacy for any mortal? The answer to that question could redefine not only the future of Ferrari, but the competitive landscape of the entire category for years to come. If Hamilton decides to retire, Ferrari would lose not only an experienced driver, but all the global marketing and prestige that comes with his name. On the other hand, it could open the door for younger, hungrier talent willing to sacrifice everything for the chance to race for the prancing horse. It's a calculated risk that could either catapult the Italian team to success or leave it in an even more complicated position on the grid. What do you think? Will Hamilton be able to reinvent himself once again and prove that age is just a number? Or is Steiner right, and 2025 will really be the 7-time champion's last year in Formula One? Leave your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any analysis of the hottest behind-the-scenes news in the category. Because if there's one thing that's certain in this whole story, it's that the coming months will be absolutely decisive for the future of world motorsport.